Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. A quick warning before we begin. Today's main story touches on the subject of eating disorders, so if that is a subject you're uncomfortable with, you might want to skip the first story. Now let's get started. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user DoEnthusiasm4941, telling my brother I don't want his girlfriend around our little sister. 24 female writing this. I am the oldest in the family. My brother, 22 male, has started dating a girl from work, 23 female. This is the first girlfriend he's ever brought home to meet all of us, and obviously, we are all super excited. We met her the first few times and she seemed fine and super nice. I'm a certified counselor and I work at a high school, so I've seen a lot of things, and one of them being eating disorders, which my brother also mentioned his girlfriend having before she came over the first time. Not in a bad way, but she is incredibly thin and he didn't want anyone mentioning it to her and pointing it out, especially our grandparents, because they're insensitive about that stuff. We have a little sister, 14 female, who's just going into puberty. My little sister is super insecure and I won't go into detail too much, but she's obsessed with TikTok, which my parents have tried limiting because, well, kids see stuff. My brother's girlfriend hung out with all of us together, and her and my sister bonded a lot over things like Hello Kitty, supermodels, and so on, which I don't know much about, but I was happy she found someone with similar interests. Sometimes his girlfriend would offer to pick my sister up for school and go shopping. She's asked me too on a few occasions, and I've met up with her once or twice and she seemed normal to me. But the more our sister hung out with her, the more I started noticing things. My sister would point out calories, which she never has. My sister is a foodie who watches mukbangs because she's bored. Then started the excessive workouts, including Pilates. I genuinely assumed this was another TikTok trend, so I didn't think about that too much. But then she asked my mom to buy her sizes small to motivate her to lose weight. She asked for all her Christmas clothes to be smaller, and my sister isn't a big girl. She's perfectly healthy for someone with her proportions. She has our brother's girlfriend on Snapchat, and she was showing me something in their saved chats. To say the least, it was body-checking pictures she'd sent, and it's crazy for me to even type this, because it sounds insane to send that to a little girl. It's not like she wasn't aware that she was sending our 14-year-old sister these pictures of herself. And some of the saved chats even had links to diet plans she'd sent my sister because my sister asked how to lose weight. One diet plan said eating 1 egg per meal. That's effing unhealthy. I freaked out and I never lose my cool. I've never done it before. Plus, it's a part of my job not to get agitated easily, but this made me lose my bollocks. I stormed into my brother's room and yelled at him and told him about it, and told him I don't want his girlfriend around our sister, period. I told our parents, and my brother defended his girlfriend, saying how she has had an eating disorder ever since she was a kid, and that she didn't mean it like that it wasn't intentional. My brother called me a bitch and said that I was stigmatizing her and assuming things because of her eating disorder. I told him to shut the F up and for her to stay away from our sister. My sister is sad, but she didn't know any better, and I had a long talk with her. Our parents are really pissed at my brother too, and he won't talk to me. His girlfriend texted me a long apology with excuses, saying it was taken out of context. Whatever, I see the signs. I told her to shut the F up and stay away from my little sister, and that she's a weirdo for even bringing this up around my sister because she's a kid who shouldn't be worrying about weight, let alone taking tips from someone who has an eating disorder and is actively getting her to starve. My brother left the house 2 weeks ago and hadn't said a word to me and is staying with his girlfriend, but called my mom and said he won't come home until I apologize to his girlfriend. She's even tried texting me to defend herself once more, has called me everywhere, and I didn't respond until she called my little sister thinking I wasn't there. Took the phone from sister and told her if she ever comes near her again, she'll be having words with me physically. Brother is mad as hell and said his girlfriend doesn't know any better and told me I should know how these things work because I have a degree in them. I told him to F himself if he ever brings her around our sister anymore. Am I the a-hole because I know I was harsh, but I won't let someone knowingly make my barely teenage sister eat one flipping egg for every meal to lose weight? When she called her, I had to calm myself down because if I whoop her ass, my degree is gone. No, Opie, you are not the a-hole. You're rightfully protecting your sister. So here's what I don't understand. Your brother knows that his girlfriend has an eating disorder, which of course inherently means it's not healthy. However, he's okay with his girlfriend giving your sister diet plans to lose weight. Your brother's an idiot, and his girlfriend didn't accidentally send the body check photos or the calorie talk or the diet plans to a 14-year-old. Those are not innocent mistakes. So no, Opie, I don't think you're the a-hole. I don't think you were harsh. I think you protected your sister. So stand firm, Opie. There is nothing to apologize for. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's check out the community comments. Sweet Mint 12 says, not the a-hole. It's not fine that a grown woman who should know better is encouraging a little girl to go down the same unhealthy path as her. Kudos to you, big sister. Also, your brother saying she didn't know better about an adult with a fully developed frontal lobe is shocking. The Real Red Paradox says, yes, finally, I'm so happy to see someone get hostile with one of these a-holes. Not the a-hole 1,000 times over. I'm so effing proud of you. Bro's girlfriend is a grown-ass woman. If she doesn't know any better, then she isn't mature enough to be dating anyone. No Satisfaction 66 says, not the a-hole. She was actually getting your young teen sister to partake in an unhealthy diet and then some. Basically, projecting her own ED issues onto her, and that is disgusting of her to do. She was hurting a child on purpose and is defending her gross actions. And I think you should really consider your relationship with your brother, as in having low contact or no contact from here on out, and make sure your sister's phone has this grown woman's number blocked everywhere. But this is all for you to decide, and your parents, of course. I hope your sister is okay now. And No King 3800 says, not the a-hole. I'm so sorry you've had to go through this. You were right to note his brother's girlfriend actively encouraging dangerous weight loss, which is the entire opposite of unintentional. She has to apologize for her behavior. And your brother seems to be hiding behind his girlfriend's disorder for harming a child. If this were any other kid in the school, I'm sure you'd be asking them where they get this information from. She didn't just find it, she was given a restricted eating plan. It's the child's well-being before everyone's ego, and your brother and his girlfriends are bruised. Fingers crossed for you. I hope your sister treats this as a phase and finds something else in a few weeks. Additional information from Opie's comments. I'm only posting this because my brother and I have always been super close, and honestly, that's the only reason I even felt conflicted. I genuinely do not give a rat's ass about his girlfriend, but because it's my brother, I ended up feeling like an ass for going off the way I did. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have hesitated for a second. She knew exactly what she was doing, but she kept making excuses and my brother kept downplaying everything right along with her. She had so many opportunities to apologize, but she didn't. The only reason she finally did was because her ignorance stopped getting her anywhere. She kept acting like she was just encouraging eating healthy and didn't think she'd done anything wrong. She defended herself over and over, and my brother was brown-nosing her the entire time. She only admitted she messed up after I told her to leave my sister alone and stop texting her. And that's where I draw the line, when someone in my personal life endangers my baby sister. What this woman did is psychotic, telling my sister to eat one egg per meal and nothing else. My sister didn't know any better. She's young, she's still growing, and she's easily influenced because she's literally still developing. So I sat her down and told her that what our brother's girlfriend was doing was not okay, that none of it was healthy, and that someone her age should never be following strict dietary restrictions like that. I also told her that our brother's girlfriend is unhealthy and suffering herself, and that she shouldn't be taking advice from someone like that. The whole thing started because our mom asked her if she wanted to get a gym membership with us, and she said no. Then she explained that our brother's girlfriend was the one who put all these ideas in her head. It all began after my sister sent her a TikTok of a girl who looked nice and said she wanted to wear something like that when she's older. That was it, something that innocent, and somehow this woman took that and twisted it into starving herself and body goals. I still have no idea how she even got there. Well, the community agrees OP is not the a-hole and that keeping the sister away from the girlfriend is the right thing to do. So now, let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. I'm here to give you all an update, and I don't think there's gonna be another update after this because I'm fully set. I've read all of y'all's comments and had a little glass of wine to think things over, and I'm putting my foot down. Basically, I contacted my brother and gave him an ultimatum. He either breaks up with his girlfriend and stops excusing her crappy behavior and owns up to the fact that his girlfriend is a dangerous human being, or I won't talk to him again. Period. Point blank. Didn't take too long for my brother to respond to me. He's at our place right now, freezing us all out like we did something, including our little sister who, mind you, is not at effing fault here whatsoever. To put it simply, my brother is still excusing this crap, also threatened to send my messages to my job, and has apparently recorded some of the conversations I've had with his girlfriend over the phone and is threatening to send them to my job. Laughing emoji. My work doesn't even care what I do outside of work as long as it doesn't affect my competence, breaks confidentiality, or if I've done some messed up crap. So I told him, go on, because I know he won't do it anyway. His girlfriend won't say a peep to me because I've threatened her with repercussions that are so wild, I can't say them because God is listening. But yeah, I'm super close with my brother, always have been. We've always been like magnets, but I can't excuse his puppy love taking over the functioning part of his brain that processes good and bad, and told him that I've given him too many chances and that he and I won't be talking anymore, and blocked him for good. Told him when he sees me at Christmases, birthdays, Easter, or other family events that him and I won't be talking, and that his girlfriend isn't allowed to say A or B to my sister, much less look at her. I've gotten a ton of comments with mixed emotions and some very weird and nasty messages that I haven't even bothered reading and just deleted. Like, I've replied to some people on my previous post, there's a difference between a sick person who wants to get help and a sick person who's in denial and trying to purposely harm other people. In that case, the latter is my brother's girlfriend. Baby sister is doing alright now. She's a super bright and loving kid who, from what I can tell, just took advice from someone she thought she could trust. She's not in any trouble at all and no one is mad at her here. My parents are disappointed too, not only because of the entire situation, but because of the outcome. Little sister still loves and cares about her brother and no one is discouraging her from doing that. Shows how much of a sweet kid she is. Thank you so much for your comments. I don't think you'll be getting more updates because I'm pretty set on not talking to my brother anymore. Even if he does break up with her, things won't be the same between us because it truly shows how ignorant he is and willing to defend a woman who's a terrible human being. Have a nice weekend, guys, and happy holidays if you don't hear from me. Well, it'll be good for you for standing your ground. You're defending your sister. That's the right thing to do. It is sad about your brother, of course, but he is very much in the wrong. So here's wishing you the best, OP. Thanks for sharing and take care. And now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user CautiousCoconut1304. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister and her boyfriend I'm not moving in with them? Urgent. So I, female 21, am currently living in an apartment with my sister, 27, and her boyfriend, 26. Her boyfriend is set to buy a house as he got pre-approved for a mortgage this year. We all had a discussion a few months ago where he asked if I would move into the house with them because he needed my financial help for it. Me, not having anywhere else to go, said yes. I've been living with them in a rental for almost 2 years come March. They initially wanted me to live with them for 1, help with finances, cheaper to live with 3 people over 2, and 2, they thought my presence would help with their relationship issues. Now, me being 19 thought getting out of my parents' house was worth it. I didn't even think of the fact that I couldn't afford it. Now, I'm 21 and still can't really afford it. I'm in major credit card debt. My credit is horrid. To top it off, their relationship issues have only gotten worse since moving with them. Way worse. They've been breaking up every other week and getting back together a couple of days later acting as nothing happened. They'll scream and cry in the house while I, who works night shifts, is trying to sleep. I raised this concern with them last year, saying that I didn't want to renew our lease if it continued. They said they would do anything to keep me, and then the fighting got worse. I've had to chaperone dates because they aren't comfortable around each other. It's exhausting. I recently told my friend and her roommate about all of this. Her roommate told me to pretty much get the F out of there as soon as I can. When I told her I had nowhere to go, she said I could live with them. No questions asked. She rents from her grandmother, and I would be paying a little more than half of what I'm currently paying. I'd be living with my best friend. I'd be closer to work. It sounds like a no-brainer. But now I have to tell my sister and her boyfriend that instead of moving into a house with them, I'm moving in with my friends instead. I tried to soft launch it to my sister and she told me I can't do that and that it would mess up their plans. They oddly enough have been a perfect couple since that conversation. They've been talking about how good the house is going to be and now I have to say I can't. Well, Pete, no, you're not the a-hole. Their relationship and their well-being shouldn't depend on you living with them or not. And living with them sounds horrible. I mean, even they know that living with themselves is horrible because they constantly break up. They should just acknowledge that they're not good together and move on with their lives. But that is not your problem, OP. You move in with your friends. It sounds a lot better. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section. And now let's check out the community comments. That's not really true, says not the a-hole. You can't afford to live there. You must get rid of that credit card debt. It's only going to get worse. It's not your job to fix their relationship. And the bank wouldn't give him a mortgage if his income wouldn't cover it. Only Breadfruit 6108 says, do what is best for you. They can find someone else to move into his new house to help pay his mortgage. It doesn't need to be you. You can still visit, and then when they argue, you can tell them how unpleasant they are to be around, and you can leave. Perfect. Not the a-hole. B1 Elevan Sant Mariposa says, not the a-hole. What a mess. Just go. Your sister and her boyfriend don't know how to handle life. Let them create their own messes. You're not attached to a mop. And Neg Nelly says, if you get the house with them, then it sounds like you're walking into a financial and emotional nightmare with your eyes wide open. Do the smart thing. Walk away and let your sister deal with her dysfunctional relationship. It's time for you to start your own life. You are not her couples therapist. Community agrees, not the a-hole, moving with your friends, and your sister needs to solve her own issues. So now let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. Thanks for everyone in the comments saying that I'm doing the right thing. To the people complaining about the length of this post and how I didn't put paragraphs in, I'm a yapper, I'm sorry. Paragraphs have now been implemented. I told them both tonight. It went as expected. I said I was given the opportunity to move in with so-and-so and that financially and mentally this would be the best decision. My sister said that this wasn't good and that this was a huge slap in the face. Said that they both had all these plans that are down the drain now. Her boyfriend said that he understood where I was coming from and respected my decision. But then he said that this is the biggest betrayal. He said that he can't buy a house now and that he wished he had known this a few months ago. He said that this was meant to be a stepping stone for all of us and was going to help me with my debt and credit issue. I told them that I understood their disappointment and that I was sorry to put them through it, but I need to do what's best for me. It ended with him leaving to his room, saying he had a lot of work to do. My sister then left shortly after crying to me, basically saying I ruined their plans and that she couldn't afford a house with just her and him. Reference, I make a little more than my sister and way less than her boyfriend. I left to my parents' house to talk with them after having a panic attack on the phone with my brother. They all agree that I'm making the right call. When our lease is up at the end of February, we will all be going our own ways. Good decision, OP. You had the tough conversation and you kept going through it. The guilt tripping was off the charts. I understand where you're coming from, but this is the biggest betrayal. And basically, building all of their hopes and dreams on top of you. So yeah, you've made the right decision, OP. And here's wishing you the best. Take care and thanks for sharing. And now let's finish this video with a mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Petty Revenge and it's by user Wings of Pastrami 91. Guy kept cutting in line at the coffee shop, so I made his morning routine miserable. There's a coffee shop I go to every morning before work. Small place, usually has a line of 5-6 people. There's this one guy who would show up, see the line, and then pretend to just remember he needed to ask the barista a question. He walked up to the counter, asked something stupid like what size the medium is, and then conveniently just order while he was already up there. He did this at least 4 times that I witnessed. Nobody's ever called him out because, confrontation before coffee isn't worth it. So I started playing the same game. Whenever I'd see him walk in and start heading toward the counter with this "I have a question" routine, I'd quickly step out of line and beat him to it. Then I'd ask the most annoying, time-consuming question possible. What's the difference between a latte and a cappuccino again? Do you have oat milk? What about almond, soy? Which one froths better? Can you explain the whole pastry section? And then I'd say, "Oh, actually, let me get back in line and think about it," and go back to my spot. He'd be stuck standing there looking like an idiot. After about a week of this, he started just waiting in line like a normal person. Problem solved. Haven't seen him try to cut since. Nicely done, OP. He's certainly got the message. Thanks for sharing. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out, so here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later, and also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.